Okay, thank you very much, Jane. And once again, thanks everyone for joining us here today. Uh, my name's Griffin Crocker. I'm with Solis Energy, and we wanted to talk to you guys about getting power where you need it and some innovative solutions that we've come up with partnering with Logic and ABB. A bit of what we're going to go over today, the components that are involved in a couple of our solutions, the solution itself that we've designed specifically for outdoor applications, how this solution can be utilized in different circumstances and different uses for it. A couple of case studies that we have going. Talk about how our devices are rugged and we have the ability to customize them given the load and location for different jobs. Then at the end, I'd like to do a little bit of question and answer period, and then we'll share the all-important contact information. So if you have more questions, you can reach out and talk to the right representative for whatever you might need. So the first thing we're going to talk about is from ABB and their Tropos division, specifically the Tropos 1410. It's a series of wireless mesh routers that are used to build field area networks for automation applications. They enable cost-effective and highly secure IP communications for utility, mining, oil and gas, and industrial applications that monitor and control field automation at the endpoints. There is no limit to what types of things this can do when you're talking about electronics out in the field, especially when you're talking about at the very edge where you need to have smart access to industrial automation, whether it is monitoring SCADA applications, industrial controls, pipelines, or just trying to get a wireless signal out and trying to figure out what each of your devices are doing. Out in the field, the Tropos 1410 is a economical but still powerful solution for you that can be deployed nearly everywhere. That's this over here on the left. The thing that looks like a shark fin. Over here on the right is the Tropos 6420. Takes the abilities of the 1410 and steps them up into the next level. They provide enterprise-class security and future-ready operations to legacy automation devices installed in the field. You can plug this in with devices that have been out operating in the field for 20 years, and they can still make your automation smarter out in the field. Now, I'm by no means the main ABB rep, and the folks at ABB and Logic would love to talk to you about what you can do with this more specifically. What Solis Energy is all about is we are the power people. And the solution we teamed up with ABB is our solar power plant. It's a 100% independent, cost-effective alternative to pulling traditional grid power. It is just exemplified in this picture over here. Off-grid solar power and batteries designed specifically for this solution. It offers clean, uninterruptible power to critical 12, 24, 48 volt components or things that operate off of power over Ethernet. The applications for this are nearly endless, whatever you need power for though. Whether it is security, video surveillance, the types of industrial controls and SCADA applications that we're talking about today as it concerns utilities or industrial manufacturing. If it needs to be out in the field and it is a location where power is either unattainable or it's just unreliable at the exact location, we can build a solution specifically for that. So what we've teamed up here is the ABB Tropos 1410, pictured here, and one of our smaller solar power solutions that can actually cover the vast majority of the continental North America, not just the continental United States. It is a ready design solution that we know that we can deploy all across the United States, into southern Canada, into South and Central America as well, and it will work properly for your power needs, and it will still be an effective IT solution for your industrial applications. The ABB 1410 is a powerful component that we've gone over and has a wide array of uses. It creates a smarter industrial system and allows for seamless network access at any point because these systems can be deployed all the way out to the very edge by getting power from our power plants that allow you to place them anywhere. On top of that, you can brag about how you are using green energy, green power, getting power from the sun. It might not necessarily be the reason that you wanted to go with this application, but at the same time, it's still something good to bring up, and it's always good PR. So this is just a picture of some of the things that the ABB 1410 enables you to do to better your smart grid, water flow, silo stack calculation, any sort of water monitoring or chemical leak detection, being able to transmit a signal back wirelessly to monitor gas levels, supply chain controls, radiation levels, fleet tracking, any sort of temperature monitoring, even meteorological data. Wherever it is you're trying to pull information from, the 1410 will fire it back to your data center or whoever is actually in front of the computer monitoring it. And we have a real-world application with a company that we work with, a municipal utilities manufacturer, a municipal utility company. Talking about our first case study here, they installed smart water meters across their customer base to increase efficiency, reduce costs, conserve energy and water, and to improve their customer service. However, powering the smart water system by extending the power grid was not feasible. The locations where they already had these smart monitors and where they wanted to put out new ones, they could have gotten power to them by traditional trenching. However, the cost was exorbitant, over $10,000 in most cases, close to $15,000 in some others. It was incredibly costly for what was just a trickle of power of what they needed. So what we were able to do was design a customized solution specifically with a radio that they had in mind and with enough power overlay to run their very tiny monitoring device, which used practically no power. It was barely a rounding error. But the main thing they needed was powering wireless IT to get that information back to their main center so they can monitor all of their devices in the field. The old way they used to do it was send somebody out in a truck to look at this stuff. It wasn't as consistent, and because it wasn't as timely, the information wasn't as accurate as being able to just open up a laptop. We brought in our customized solar power plant as a solution to deliver reliable, uninterrupted power to the radio sensors. And what that allowed us to do is put over 100, and now it's over 200 of our solar power plants in the field with this company, coupled with their water monitors and their chosen radios handling the wireless backhaul, which makes their operations more efficient and their customer service is superior from it. So while we aren't talking about security here in this specific webinar, security is a big part of what Solis Energy does. But we're all just about power. So that's why I brought in this security case study, because this also exemplifies how we are bringing lots of power out to the very edge. One of the largest solar power stations in the world, located in Southern California, needed a surveillance solution for their millions of solar panels that would not be compromised by power interruptions. Solis Energy, Surveillance Grid, and Via Assist partnered up to provide perimeter security to the solar farm using Solis Energy's solar power plants, ensuring that the security camera units would receive the necessary continuous, reliable power needed to survey approximately 9.5 square miles of solar farm. The difficulty with the solar farm was they wanted power right out to the edge. As you can see, there's a fence in the background of this picture. They wanted to put 2 cameras on each one of these poles, which draw a decent amount of power. Even though they were in the business of solar power, this type of specific low voltage solution was something very different for them. We were able to deploy our units, in some cases over half a kilometer away from where they had their power station, which enabled them not to have to dig a trench all the way out there, which was extremely costly and would pull off power from what they wanted to do with it, send it out to the consumers and make money off of it. Our solar power plant provides continuous power 24/7, 365 to the cameras that are guarding the solar power plant. Over 200 security camera units are installed at the solar farm and ensures reliable surveillance is provided at all times, at all points. One thing that everybody in security will talk about is that it's like a suit of armor, and you need to have every piece available. A suit of armor is useless if your chest is just laid bare. So this enabled them to have 360 degrees of coverage, not just where it was convenient for them to get power. The same types of things can be done with industrial controls or SCADA applications. All it is on our end is power. Our systems are reliable and they are deployed all over the world. One case I like to talk about, though, is in the Nouvelle mountain range in southern Quebec. Not a place you think of solar power. They needed to put a telecommunications device on the side of this mountain here. This is a picture of the mountain in springtime. This picture of the same mountain range in winter is just a sheet of white everywhere. Location where we have the solar power plant, the January mean temperature is negative 12 degrees C, and the average low in January is negative 17. Also, the average snowfall for that month is 24 inches. We had to design a completely off-grid solar power solution to power the telecommunications device through that winter. And that goes to our design solutions. We build our devices to get through the worst conditions possible so that when you have a nice spring day, you don't even have to worry about it, because we designed the solution specifically for that worst week you're likely to have. Other locations where we have solar power plants: Butte, Montana; Tacoma, Washington, where it gets very chilly. On the opposite end of the spectrum, Kuwait in July, where the average high is 45 degrees C, and the Mojave Desert right here in the USA, where the average high gets up to 41 degrees C. All these various solutions are not the most ideal places for solar, but we build our systems specifically rugged enough to make it through these conditions. And if our partners from ABB were here, they would be looking at these conditions and probably giggle at themselves, because their devices are deployed in even more wide ranges than what we're talking about right here. So it's a great partnership between two companies that build to be placed anywhere, anytime. So while we have designed a specific solution for the ABB Tropos 1410, Solis Energy is capable of branching out to whatever needs to be powered. We try to make it very simple for our partners, and you can get our solutions through logic. Our solutions are designed to fit the specific projects, the electronics, and the location. Our customized designs are engineered for the worst week likely and the worst weather you're likely to have. We get this information by consulting NRAIL and NASA sun and weather data to determine just how cold it's going to be in an area, just how many sun hours you're likely to get, and we always build to, once again, that worst week you're likely to have, whether that in that specific area is a rainy, cold December, or you're talking about a frozen, wintry January where the sun's only out 4 hours a day. We build to those specifications so they can go through the worst weather you're likely to have in that area. If our solar data comes up and it says the likelihood is pretty good that in, going back to our previous design, up in Quebec in the winter you could go 4.5 days without enough sunlight to charge the batteries, and it has to run for at least 4.5 days off of pure battery power. We design it with over 5 days of battery power, specifically for those electronics in that location. The batteries that we use are built to have many cycles, and they're cold compensated for low temperatures. Batteries do not work as well in colder temperatures, so that's once again why we target winter, not to mention the lack of sun in the winter. Our enclosures and our batteries can be insulated for further weather protection if need be. Once again, we customize our designs to exceed the rigors of the needs that you have for your project. And we try to make it very simple for you. If you have a question, you can either contact a member of the Solis team or somebody from Logic, and they will just get the information of where you are trying to put the device and what it is that you are trying to bring power to. So this slide right here just quickly goes over a couple of the solutions that we've built for ABB. We have our various devices up here on the top. What we're talking about today is the 1410, which has a very small power draw, luckily for us. So the same solution that we have designed here for Logic, it can be placed all over the country, from San Diego, California, where everything solar works fantastic, all the way up to Cleveland or Rochester. Not places that you think of having a bunch of solar devices deployed all over. That one solution will work for everything. But if you go over to the Tropos 7320, you start to notice that a 12-watt draw, that needs a lot more power going to us. And so the solution varies when you're talking about San Diego, California, versus going back down to Cleveland Spokane, Washington, Rochester, New York. Now we need more solar panels and more battery solutions to provide that 12 watts in those areas that are not ideal for solar. So while one solution might work for the smaller radios, we would have to have a variety of solutions. That's why we've made this package for the 1410, depending on your applications. This same idea, though, goes out to any type of radio, whether it's a Sierra Wireless, Redline, whatever communications device you need, and whatever other peripherals you need to attach to it. Give us what they are, and we can build it specifically to that function. One of the benefits for Solis Energy also is where you're looking to put these devices. Having to dig a power trench can be not cost effective. Once again, some of these trenches, you're talking about $10,000 and up just to dig 100 yards or more. Deploying our units, you get reliable outdoor power with a battery backup specifically made for that area. As far as pricing goes, pretty much, as you can probably think, the smaller the solution, the cheaper it is. So the little 3-watt 1410 that we have one solution that we can deploy all over the United States, the MSRP on that is just under $2,000. So that's an easy solution that can be deployed anywhere, far cheaper than even the cheapest trenching operation if you have to go a distance or you're trying to put a communication or utility device in an odd area. As you go up the sliding scale, the solutions do become a little bit more expensive simply because we are trying to get more power. The solution over here for the 6420, a more powerful radio that gives you more applications and more uses from ABB Tropos. That solution can be had for right around $4,000 MSRP. Now, as things need more power, as I scroll over here, and they start getting in colder, less sunlit areas, the solution down here in the corner, that's going to be just north of $9,000 MSRP off the top of my head. But for a solution like that, you're talking about powering one of ABB's most powerful radios and adding in another PoE load on top of that, such as a security camera or some sort of massive telecommunications device on top of the radio. Once again, we specify for the load and location, and for this type of situation, it's not the worst case scenario, but it's pretty far up there, and we still have an affordable solution that can get power where you need it. So those are the main things I wanted to hit on today. Are there any questions from anyone? Hello? Oh, okay. Well, I do appreciate everyone joining me. Thank you very much for your time. Right here is our contact information. You can get more information about Solis Energy from our website, www.solisenergy.com. We're also available on Logic Control's website, logic-control.com. My contact information is right here. Please feel free to email me or give me a call if you have any questions. My West Coast counterpart, if you're talking about any sort of projects in California, Nevada, state of Washington, things like that, is Benny Carrion. And the folks over at Logic Control, they've been great with us about trying to bring us some projects and some new challenging ideas. You can call them up and we can help them design a solution. By dealing with Logic, you get all of the items that you need, whether it's this ABB Solis Energy all-in-one solution, or if you have to do some sort of an individual package with an individual radio or other telecommunications devices, you can get them all from Logic. So thank you guys very much, and I appreciate your time.